Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. How are you? This is your second part from variables and data types. Okay. This here is a code that I prepared for you. The variables are nothing new. The same as last time. What I did here is I added the printf after each one to show you how each one of them is printed based on his data type. Okay, for the integers it's very simple. We just put percentage d comma after the double quotation and then the name of the variable. Simple as that. And the same thing goes here, but here we have percentage f for floats, and we have here after that comma and then the name of the variable b. Pi, however, is like I told you, it's a long float. So there is a trick here, but I'll show you later. Let's say LF, long float. Okay, and column pi. There is a trick there. I'll show you to you when I finish with the others. Just don't worry, you'll understand everything. Here is a character. We'll say C, and the name of the variable C. Here is a string. We say percentage S, comma space or no space if you want. The name of the variable. The same here. They're both strings, so nothing changes. S1. Unless of course you want to print only one of them, you can say percentage C, and you say here 0, the position of H, or 1, the position of I, and then it will print only a character which is H or I. It will not print the whole high, but this way it will print high as whole. And now back to the bool. The bool is not a native C data type. By that I mean that it has no specific treatment as a data type. Like each one of these previous data types has his own way of treatment. Like you cannot treat a string with C or G or F. Also, you cannot treat an integer as a float or as something. So there is no specific thing for a bool because it's not a native variable. It's not a native data type in C. But there is a solution to that. C sees C as in C programming. Sees as in verb to see. Bools as true or false, like I told you before. But true for C is 1 and false is 0. So anything, let's say for example, 0 and 1s are integers, so we can print bools or booleans are integers, which can be like, which will display 0 or 1. Let's say here comma F, and let's say here comma G, and let's compile and run with F11. By the way, if F11 don't work for you, try Fn, which is the one next to control, between control and the Windows button, and Fn. F11. When you click Fn and 11, it should work if it did not work with F11 by itself. So here it is. Oh, I forgot new lines. No problem. This is our A3. This is our 3.14, our B. I need a new line to show you one thing. \n. Everywhere. What's wrong with me? Everywhere. This is taking too much of my time. People say I have a great voice. Should I believe them? Should I take the word for it? Okay, let's see. Let's bring that smaller a little bit, and let's close this one. Okay, we have here our 3, which is uh, A. B is 3.14, but look, he added like 6 digits to it. Same as double. So what's the difference between double and float if they're not? There is no difference. Basically, there is no big difference. Look here, pi, 3.14, 15, 92. 3.14, 15, 93. The reason of 93 is because like the number after 2 is bigger than 5. So it will add number. It will add 1 to the last number, which is 2, which will make it 3. If I change this to 3, it was 6, and now it's 3. It shall not give us 93. It shall give us 92. Let's compile and run. You see 92, not 93. Okay, but let me tell you the difference between them. There is no big difference at all, apparently. So what should I do now? I could remove this LF, because actually, apparently it did nothing. There is something else. You can add dot to, or dot the number of digits you want to see after the number of decimals you want to see after the 3 point, how many digits. If I say here 0.2, and I say here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I say here 0.11, this way it will show at 3.14 for B, like you see, 3.14 for B, because I told him 0.2. It will give us 2 digits after this point. Here it will give us 11 digits after the point. If I say 12, it shall add 0. And 0 it did add. See how simple that is? Okay, let's go to the next, which is character, car. Character here is C, simple, as you can see, and S is high. The second S1, which is HI, not high, it's HI. It's high, HI. You can print it as A1 string. Now, the bulls, not bull as the male of a cow, but a bull. My accent sucks. I don't know where I'm from. Okay, the F is true, and it gave us 1. And the T is false, and it gave us 0. Let's try this. If we say here 10, which is not a value, and say here 0, which are not the values of a bool, but in C, when you give a bool a variable that is bool, when you give it 0, it considers it as false. When you give it anything other than 0, 1, 2, 100, 12, anything, it will consider it as true. And as you can see, F is 12, yet it displayed 1. Because no matter how much you give it, as long as it's not 0, it's 1. How beautiful that is. And now, this is printf, and now let's go to scanf. Okay, I have this other part, this other code, where I declared everything, initialize it, the first, and then I scanned each one of them. I say int printf int a, which will scan. The same thing happens. The only difference between printf and scanf is this this special character that comes before the variable. Here you have %d, and here you have %s, which is the data type, and then you have this sign, which is, I don't know exactly what to call it in English, and then the name of the variable. In printf we don't have that, we only have this. This stands for the location of the variable in your memory, in your storage. Like if I say here, let me explain that a little bit. If I say here, you remember how A was printed as 3, right? A is printed as 3, okay. Now, if I am to say print me not just A, this symbol A, okay, and say compile or run, or both. Look here. This is the location of this variable. This is where your program, your code is storing this variable A. This is the destination where this 3 went in your memory exactly, which is beautiful, which is why we need the location to scan. For instance, because I have a variable named A, and I want to give that variable this 3. When you want to put your phone in your pocket, let's go back to the phone pocket thing. Your mind tells your hand where your pocket is and leads it straight to it and puts the phone inside the pocket. But first you have to know where your pocket is. That is stupid because everybody knows where his pockets are. So he is telling him to this %d, which is what you typed in, will go to this location. Okay? I hope that's simple. I don't want to make it long because the longer it is, the more complicated it gets. The same thing for B, the same thing for everything. Everyone is preceded by, I don't need that. Everyone is preceded, or let's see what happens if I don't use it. Or if I do use it. Let's see what happens. Okay. The same here as, it's the same as printf. The only difference is this little sneaky special character. Okay. Double float f, double lf or f, which we just saw that there is no big difference. String, car, string. Now this is a funny thing. Let's try with C and see what happens. Compile phones. F11. I like French sometimes. Okay, let's see one float. 2.2. That is an error here, but it's no problem. Let's repeat it. Let's run it. 1, 2.2, 2.212. C is not. It is not printing C because for him, for the scanner, there is no difference between the S and the C. If you enter one character, it's a C, and if you enter more than one character, it's an S. So it's up to you to decide later whether it's a character or a string, and also whether the location is defined as a character or a string. So if I want to bring this back as a string, there will be no problem. It will just, oh, he entered one character, which is good because where I'm supposed to locate it is defined as a one character string. So there is no problem there. D, and then string. And there, you see, I gave them 5 digits after this dot, and then he fulfilled it, he completed it to 6. Apparently, by default, a float or a double, both are the same, have 6 digits after the point, by default. So that's no problem there. The character is G, and the string is a string. And simple as that. I hope this was helpful for you, and see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any question, comment it down below.